Have you ever wondered how a single kind act can change someone's entire future? This is the story of a boy who had nothing, no money, no family, no home, but a heart full of courage. And that courage turned him into one of the greatest young entrepreneurs his town had ever seen. In a small coastal town in Ireland in the year 1884, there lived a boy named Thomas. He was just 10 years old when his parents lost their lives in a tragic ship accident. Left all alone in the world, he had nowhere to go and no one to take care of him. Desperate and heartbroken, Thomas found himself sleeping near the docks, trying to stay warm in the cold, windy nights. To survive, he relied on the kindness of fishermen who sometimes gave him leftover food. It wasn't much, but it helped him get through those tough days. Despite the hardships he faced, Thomas was a bright and curious kid. He loved to watch the world around him and learn new things. He saw how the fishermen worked hard to catch fish and then sold them in the market. He noticed how the fishmongers displayed their wares and interacted with customers. He observed how people's buying habits changed with the seasons and how prices fluctuated depending on supply and demand. Even though he was just a poor homeless boy, Thomas had an undying curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. He would spend hours at the town library reading books on economics, trade, and geography. He studied maps, learned about different cultures, and dreamed of one day having a life filled with adventure. His teachers saw his intelligence and kindness and did their best to help him. They gave him extra books and sometimes even shared their own lunches with him. But as time went on, the townspeople started to turn against Thomas. They began to mock him for his ragged clothes and dirty appearance. They called him a lazy good-for-nothing, while others said he was nothing but a little beggar. They thought he was just making stuff up about his parents dying in a shipwreck, and that he was lying about being an orphan. Despite the hurtful words and angry shouts, Thomas held his head high. He knew that even though he was poor and alone, he was strong and determined. He wasn't going to let anyone push him down or take away his dignity. One day while walking along the shore, Thomas stumbled upon a group of older boys who were teasing and bullying a younger kid. Without hesitation, Thomas stepped in and defended the younger boy. He stood up to the bullies, telling them that it wasn't okay to treat others badly just because they were smaller or weaker. The other kids were surprised by Thomas's bravery. They had never seen anyone stand up to the bullies before. Even though they were scared, they couldn't help but admire Thomas's courage. That night, after settling down by the docks, Thomas couldn't stop thinking about the events of the day. He realized that he didn't want to live a life where he had to rely on the kindness of others or cower in fear. He wanted to be respected and valued for who he was. Determined to make a change, Thomas came up with a plan. He decided that instead of begging for food, he would start helping the fishermen with their work in exchange for some of their fish. It wasn't easy, but Thomas was persistent. He woke up early every morning, carried heavy baskets, and mended torn nets. He was always willing to lend a helping hand and never complained about the hard work. The fishermen noticed Thomas's dedication and kindness, and eventually they started giving him some of their fish in return for his help. This way Thomas could have a reliable source of food and maybe even make a profit by selling the fish in the market. The next weekend, Thomas headed to the market with a small basket of fish. He wasn't sure what to expect, but he was determined to try his best. As he walked through the crowd, he saw many people looking at his fish, but not many were interested in buying them. Discouraged, but not defeated, Thomas decided to try a different approach. He went to a nearby bakery where many families came to buy bread. There, he approached a group of women and politely offered to sell them some fish. The women were impressed by Thomas's confidence and politeness, and one of them even suggested that he talk to the baker. The baker, a kind-hearted woman named Mrs. O'Leary, agreed to let Thomas sell his fish inside her shop. She believed that supporting the young orphan would not only help him, but also bring more customers to her store. As soon as people saw that a young homeless boy was selling fresh fish right inside the bakery, they were intrigued. Many customers started buying Thomas's fish, not only because it was fresh and tasty, but also because they admired his determination and spirit. Encouraged by his success, Thomas continued to work hard, waking up early every morning to collect fish from the fishermen and selling them at Mrs. O'Leary's shop. He was thrilled to see that people appreciated his efforts and were willing to support him. With each sale, Thomas felt a sense of accomplishment and pride. He realized that hard work and determination could help him achieve his goals, no matter how difficult they seemed. By the time he was 12, Thomas wasn't just selling fish, he was anticipating demand. He figured out when families needed larger quantities for special occasions, and when fishermen had the freshest catches. He built a reputation for having the best fish in town, and people looked forward to seeing him at the market. But success brought challenges. Older, more experienced traders started taking notice of Thomas and his growing popularity. They tried to push him out of the market, sometimes resorting to spreading rumors and lies about him. They told people that Thomas sold bad fish or that he treated the fishermen poorly. These attempts to harm Thomas's business made the townspeople question his integrity and the quality of his products. Instead of letting the rumors get to him, Thomas decided to prove everyone wrong. He came up with a brilliant idea to show his customers that he was honest and trustworthy. He started offering a guarantee on his fish, promising to replace any fish that was found to be bad. This bold move surprised everyone in the market. No one had ever heard of such a guarantee being offered on fish before. But Thomas was determined to go above and beyond to satisfy his customers and build trust in his business. As word spread about Thomas's guarantee, more and more people started buying his fish. They appreciated his honesty and willingness to stand behind his product. In contrast, the older traders who had been trying to undermine Thomas struggled to keep up with his growing popularity. Thomas's reputation for selling fresh, high-quality fish and his commitment to customer satisfaction made him the go-to fish seller in town. When Thomas turned 18, he had saved enough money to purchase his very own fishing boat. With this new asset, he expanded his business, catching his own fish and ensuring the freshest quality for his customers. As his fish trading company grew, he became well known not only in his town but also in nearby cities. Hotels and markets across the region started ordering their fish from Thomas, making him one of the most successful young entrepreneurs in Ireland. Looking back on his journey, Thomas knew that his success was not just about selling fish. It was about his determination, resilience, and kindness. From being a homeless orphan to becoming a respected businessman, he had overcome countless obstacles and never lost sight of his goals. As his business flourished, Thomas never forgot his roots. He continued to donate food to orphanages, knowing firsthand what it was like to go hungry. He also employed many men from his town, providing them with stable income and helping them support their families. Through his generosity and compassion, Thomas became a role model for the town's youth, showing them that hard work, integrity, and empathy could lead to success. And so the story of Thomas, the orphan who became the king of fish markets, was passed down through generations, inspiring countless people to follow their dreams and make a positive impact on the world around them.